Welcome back, everyone. This is Waning Moonlight, and today we will be seeing if I can beat Elden Ring as the Dayman. Now, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, the Dayman is a fictional made up character from the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It was this whole bit they did for a few episodes, and basically, there's just a few rules I gotta follow. The Dayman is a master of karate. He works with the sun, and he believes in friendship for everyone. So it's quite a silly build and quite a silly thing to make a character off of, but I thought it could be kind of funny. So first here with this sword, I use it not only for its sunlight rays, but it also boosts my holy damage, which I infuse the fist weapon, the dry leaf arts, with holy damage, so I believe that buffs it as well. And I mean, that's just kind of the build. Have a sunlight beam into my Master of Karate. This whole run was a completely just such a different experience because I have not really used like gauntlets or fighting fist weapons like much ever. And also my routing was different because the big thing of the Dayman is that his main opponent is the Nightman. So I really wanted to go fully into this. So for the Nightman, I was like, well, that means I gotta go beat Rolana. You know, she's a night person, kind of works. But then I thought about friendship for everyone. So I was like, wait, Radon's entire boss fight is fighting alongside multiple people. That sounds like friendship. So this was the most different route I ever had to do. So I realized to activate the Radon Festival, I have to go up on the Dectus lift, which I have not done since my first ever run of Elden Ring. Every single time I go and just fight the Magma Worm. But this time I was like, oh, the lift would be easier. So, yeah. Then I made my way to the Red Wolf. And if you weren't really paying attention to the first few fights, you want to pay attention to the damage output now. Because early game, this combo is extraordinarily powerful. These dry leaf fists, once buffed, I mean, I have not only a physic tier, but also a talisman that increases my damage upon multiple hits. So, you really rack up some good power. I only had the one talisman. I didn't have Millicent's prosthetic. I just had the winged sword insignia. But obviously it's still put into work. And this light sword is also just really cool in general. Just like the AoE of light flying around the room is it's pretty cool to watch. Especially, it doesn't do that much damage. It's like maybe at max with multiple hits, 500. But right here during this fight, I was getting a call, so I was kind of like just spamming the button. And it didn't even matter if I was hitting her exactly on point or not, because I still got the kill here. So I ran back up, and well, Renala, I was a little disappointed I could not stunlock into Oblivion. She actually put up quite a bit of a fight. Which, it wasn't hard to take her down. Just means I got hit a few times. And that sword actually, once again, did actually a good job of stunlocking her. If you haven't used the sword yet, I think it's called like I haven't said its name, but I think it's called like the light sword. But either way, we keep going in. We finish Renala off with a riposte. And, you know, once we went and got Renala down, I went up to the Dectus, which meant it was time to fight Radon and have our friendship for everyone. Now, in my last like 5 or 6 runs, I would not fight Radon, so dodging these arrows were they were kind of hitting me a little bit, to say the least. Takes a little while to warm back up. I've not played Elden Ring in a few months, so you know how it goes. Radon, I was expecting to be a bit of a challenge because he's up on his horse and he's kind of got it wide stance and the fist is like a really close up weapon. It's the same problem I'm gonna expect to have with Malekith, where it's like they're just like really big targets, but kind of, I don't know if I would say weird hitbox, but like a little angled. But overall, it wasn't bad. I mean, I hit him a good bit. Obviously, got the combos going with these fists. And I had said it before. If you saw the fists and are just like, oh, they're fist weapons, they can't be that good. With these infused with holy, I'm doing about 400 to 500 damage at base. So, well, I mean, like fully leveled to 25, but like without any of the stat increasing talismans like multi-hit stuff. But either way, Radon in general, I thought would be more difficult. I mean, of course he was difficult. It's Radon, but he wasn't that bad. He falls to the Dayman. So now that we had the first two lords out of the way, we made our way to the Draconic Tree Sentinel. And this is where I was getting a little more worried for the run. I mean, early game's early game. If you're in any new game plus cycle, you're gonna smoke it. But this is Lane Dell. Basically, Holy Defense Citadel. That's what I'm gonna call it, because that sounds way cooler. And obviously, if they're pretty tanky to Holy, then my build's not gonna do too good. The Tree Sentinel was a little bit of proof of that. Now, like I said, it's been a little bit, so he kind of got me with some moves I probably should have dodged. But I was also trying to use the Ash of War a little bit more. I put on this like lightning teleportation Ash of War, which is kind of fun to use to like close distances and get around people. And it worked. But I also just ran right into his fist a good bit. Godfrey here was actually the first boss death of the run, which sucked because I was so close. But you know what happens when you die once. It means you just gotta run it back until you get it. And luckily it was round 2 when I got him. And it was at this point in the run where I realized I believe I will capitalize more on the summoning part. I'll do that for Morgoth and explain there. For this fight, I kind of wanted to use the sword for a little bit. I didn't stick with it though, because I thought maybe I'll save that for more of a challenging boss. I kind of had like my own personal rule of like, don't use the sword unless, I have to. And I'll go over when I use that more. But what I just needed was to just be better and lock in with the timings of these fists. Because, unlike a sword, when you hit the attack button once, you swing once. But the feet, the dry leaf arts, you typically hit twice. So your timing's a little bit different. It's not awful, but either way, the changes, it's kind of noticeable. But anyways, here, this is where we're gonna do the summoning, and I decided to go with the twin summons. I think it's like Julian and Anna. I went with these people because their weapons are like the Claw of Night or the Katana of Night. And, well, if I'm going to be the Dayman, having a night summon technically would be opposite of it, but, it felt in theme. I couldn't think of any sun-themed summon. If there's one, do let me know. I know there's like fire ones, but either way, with them was very handy. I used them before they were patched. Originally, they were extraordinarily bugged, and at plus 10, they would do maybe like 20 damage a hit. And it was absolutely disappointing. But now they're good. They're actually very good. And they can even take riposte, which I didn't even notice. And I thought that was crazy. But either way, that was Morgoth down. Absolutely smoked. Then for good old Fire Giant, I actually forgot to hit recording until I was like a third of the way through the fight. But he was still another first try. It's Fire Giant. He shoots fireballs. He runs away from you. You run up and punch him in the legs, because sometimes his arms are hard to reach. And typically, when I play Elden Ring, I'm doing a run with my friends. So it felt so weird to have the horse for this fight. Like, it did not feel right. But whether it felt right or wrong doesn't matter, because, he was getting smoked. And I kind of wanted to get a cool finisher using the sword Ash of War, but they kind of stole my kill. And then we made our way to the Godskin duo, and as you would expect, I got a death. Now notice I said a death, because it was only once. My thing is, when the summons came out, they both focused on Big Man, and they both focused on Skinny, and I'm much better at fighting him than I am the Big Man. With the Big Man, he just kind of destroyed me. So this time, kind of entered. I don't know why I decided to do the sword there. I was like, oh, maybe it would hit them. But then I remembered, oh, right, I'm also open for attack, so wasn't the best play. But best play or not, it didn't really matter, because we were absolutely smoking this man over here. I don't know why, I don't know why I just understand Skinny Man better, but he goes down real quick. And then we make our way to this man, and obviously 3 people on him. He kind of got shredded a good bit. Was worried about the second phase popping, but just kept ragging him down. And now this is the part where it can be worrisome. No matter who comes out, we gotta kill him quick. You gotta be really aggressive, or else he's gonna summon someone else. So that's what I was trying to do, and I played pretty reckless, because I had, at the time, like 8 flasks, but obviously it didn't work. He was able to summon back Skinny, and that's where I kind of had to make the choice. Like, do I work on who I'm better at fighting, or do I just finish off Skinny? And in the end, I was like, it's probably better just to work on him. I was going to try and hit him in the rolling state. It didn't work. And either way, I feel like it was still kind of splitting the aggro a little bit. The summon was fighting him, so it's fighting the skinnier one, so it kind of was working out. And I kept trying to go for the sword Ash of War when he went for the rolls, because I thought that'd be a good way to keep distance, and it allowed for a pretty cool finisher. And when he was defeated, then we made it to the boss. I think I was probably most worried for Malekith. The reason I was kind of worried for him is he's pretty holy resistant, and I know I could switch my gloves to a standard build, but I kind of forgot to do that. And I was also worried because I'm really bad at Beast Clergyman, but as you can see, I'm getting absolutely tossed around, and my summons were not helping. For the first little bit, they were both trying to fight the Draconic Tree Sentinel, so, that's not much help. But either way, once they actually finally locked in and decided to help me, the things started going better. They were popping some bleeds, and I decided to switch to the sword here. That's because when Malekith is facing you head on, I'm pretty sure the kicks kind of go for like low hits, but you can't low hit Malekith in the front because, there's nothing there. You're just hitting the air underneath his head. So I switched to the sword. I'm more familiar with it, and obviously it worked out good. And I judged the distance perfectly for a charge attack, which led to the poise break, leading to, for the Malekith half, this was one of my better Malekith fights. simply because of that. I don't think I've ever like gotten a good clean Malekith fight, so I was like, yeah, I'll take it. And in general, this sword did pretty good. I think it was like roughly around 400 damage a swing for it. Malekith, I didn't really check how much it did exactly, but it just did as it popped up, so it's like 430, which ain't bad. And then a bleed was popped for the win against him, which means it's time for Gideon. Gideon is either a kill him in 30 seconds or you don't. You gotta do like 20 attempts on him. Now, I was a little nervous because I didn't know if these would stun lock him or not. And they did. I was so happy they were able to stagger him. And I also enjoyed how aggressive my friends were over here. They were keeping him going, popped a few bleeds, took some hits for me, which is always nice. And by a few hits, I mean legitimately like one of like the 2 attacks he actually got off. He was just absolutely demolished this run. And when he was done, we got our 3rd death to a boss. I did not know he had like just a quick grab. I thought he always had to do like the run charge. So that was a learning experience as they get kicked in the face. How else do you learn these days, eh? And then it was time for attempt 2. Now, Godfrey was one I decided to go for the sword with as well. Again, I guess to say. I just like the range. Usually, with all of the explosions he does, I get most of my hits on jump attacks and charge attacks. But the fist charge attacks are a little bit different. And the sword just worked for me better. As you see, I got a good riposte. And that meant it was time for what would be our almost final challenge. Now I decided to switch out the holiness infusement and put on a physical because, for those who are unaware, Elden Beast and Radagon they're pretty holy resistant, just a little bit. And I decided to just put on a thing for stamina. And I was gonna see if I could remove the sword, if I could light roll, but I could not. So, as we just run into this, just gonna sit and talk about the run for a little bit, before talking about the boss. And I gotta say, this was an extraordinarily shocking, like, it was so easy. Like, these weapons, the damage they put out is a lot higher with the speed it does than you would think. If you have not tried the dry leaf arts, I would definitely recommend it. Maybe get a good infusement or something, depending on like what boss you want to do. But it just does a really good job. And the sword was a really fun combo to go with it. And yeah, I mean that's really all there is to it. Just jump back and kick back as you beat everything. Anyways, now I decided to put on a new Astral War. I forgot what it was called. It's like some sort of, it's the Shriek of Sorrow. Just came back to me as I said. I don't remember. Which basically, to my understanding, after I use it, my damage will increase depending on how injured I am. I do not know for how long, but I was like, damage boost is a damage boost. And combined with all the other damage boosts, who wouldn't want that? So we go to Elden Beast, and we shred him a good bit. Absolutely demolishing him. Well, for an intro segment, that is. And I was extraordinarily surprised. We still have both summons still alive. I thought they would have been dead by now. But either way, Elden Beast does his Elden Beast things. He tries to run around. He tries to hit me with the sword. And out of practice as I was, I remembered mostly how to fight Elden Beast. It wasn't a perfect fight. It was still pretty clean. I could read what moves were coming out. dodge him pretty well. And this was one of the few times Elden Beast like barely ran away from me, which was quite nice. And with him not really running, it was kind of easy to get a stance break, which I was so happy I got, because with Elden Stars coming, I really did not want to take the time to dodge that. And I knew you get iframes from the riposte, so I was like, I'll go for it, you know? Then I dodged swords and that for a little bit. And of course, I wanted to get a cool finisher. So I brought back out the sword, went for the Ash of War, and it didn't kill, so jump attack for the end. And I mean, that was it. That was Elden Ring defeated as the Dayman. It's a really fun fight. A really fun battle, I gotta say. However, as the ending cutscene played, there was still one more thing on my mind. There was one more foe I would have to defeat as the Dayman. For those who are unaware, the Dayman has only one rival, one real adversary, one man he needs to defeat. And that man is no one other than the Nightman.
Oh, you're a master of karate, friendship for everyone. Dayman, oh, fighter of the night, man. Oh, champion of the sun. Oh, you're a master of karate, and friendship for everyone. Dayman, oh, fighter of the night, man. Oh, champion of the sun. Oh, you're a master of karate, friendship for everyone. Dayman, oh, fighter of the night, man. Oh, champion of the sun. Oh, you're a master of karate, and friendship for everyone. Dayman, oh, fighter of the night, man. Oh, champion of the sun. Oh, you're a master of karate, friendship for everyone.